I will be reducing the extent of the public life I've led so far. My first priority will continue to be our children, William and Harry.
In a shocking turn of events, King Charles is devastated after new revelations about Princess Diana's trust fund resurfaced. Trustees are said to have confirmed a structure naming only Prince William's direct line as primary beneficiaries, sending shockwaves through royal circles. While the palace remains silent, the implications are fueling debate behind closed doors. For Charles, the news reopens deeply, personal wounds tied to Diana's legacy and the monarchy's future. But what does this decision reveal about the royal family's balance of power, and who will control Diana's lasting legacy? So, what do you think? Was this arrangement fair, or does it hide a deeper royal strategy? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. To help us create more videos and uncover the latest royal drama, please subscribe. Princess Diana's hidden trust reopens. For many years, Princess Diana's trust stayed quietly out of public attention, existing almost like a hidden part of royal financial history. It remained in the background while the royal family went through major events, including scandals, weddings, funerals, coronations, and the rise of new generations. Most people outside the palace never expected this trust to become important or controversial again. However, recent reports suggest that trustees have reopened certain parts of the agreement during a review connected to the future stability of the monarchy. What was once meant to be a simple routine legal check has now turned into something far more serious and unexpected. This development has raised many questions among royal watchers and insiders, creating tension and uncertainty about what the review might reveal next. For some, it feels like a long-hidden chapter of Diana's legacy is slowly being opened again. The idea that something kept private for so long could suddenly come back into discussion has surprised even those who closely follow royal affairs. Supporters say the trust was always meant to protect Diana's wishes and secure the future of her children. Others believe the current review may lead to new interpretations of how those wishes should be carried out. As discussions continue, the situation remains unclear and is carefully watched by many who want answers but are still waiting for official confirmation. Some insiders describe the atmosphere as quiet but tense, with growing curiosity about what the trustees may decide next. Even small updates have been enough to spark widespread discussion across media and public circles, showing how sensitive the topic is. At the center of everything lies Diana's lasting influence, still shaping how people view the monarchy long after her death. This renewed attention has sparked curiosity and uncertainty about what may happen next. Whether it leads to real change or remains just a quiet legal review is still unclear. For now, attention stays fixed on the trustees, as the world waits for answers that could finally bring clarity in the days ahead. The outcome could quietly reshape how Diana's legacy is understood within the royal family and beyond it, leaving many still wondering what comes next and why. In a story that continues to unfold slowly behind palace doors, uncertainty still lingers over what the truth will ultimately reveal to everyone watching. A shocking report by Diana's trustees has reopened part of the agreement embedded in Diana's trust fund. But what could the clause in the People's Princess Trust be? Could she have been intentional about protecting her children at all costs, even after her demise? If so, how did she plan to achieve this? Let's uncover the shocking details. Inside Princess Diana's secret trust. According to whispers from inside royal circles, Princess Diana's trust is said to contain far more than just money and family treasures. It is believed that beyond the financial arrangements, there may also be carefully written instructions that focus on something much deeper: bloodline continuity and the future line of succession. In other words, the trust is thought to touch on how Diana wanted her family line to be protected and carried forward into the future. Reports suggest that legal advisors who recently reviewed the documents came across certain clauses that caught their attention. These sections are said to go beyond normal inheritance planning. Instead, they appear to reflect personal intentions tied to the long-term direction of Diana's children and their place within the royal family. While nothing has been officially confirmed by the palace, these claims have already sparked strong interest and discussion among royal watchers. What was expected to be a simple and routine review of an old estate has now taken on a much heavier meaning. Instead of focusing only on assets and legal paperwork, the conversation has shifted toward deeper questions about family legacy, royal authority, and long-term influence. People close to the situation describe the mood as careful and sensitive, as every detail seems to carry more weight than expected. For some observers, these alleged discoveries reopen long-standing questions about Diana's true wishes for her children and how she viewed their future role within the monarchy. Others see it as a reminder of how complex royal estates can be, especially when they involve figures as influential as Diana. Even the smallest detail in such documents can be interpreted in many different ways, depending on perspective. What once appeared to be a quiet legal formality has now grown into something far bigger and more sensitive. Questions about legitimacy, inheritance, and the future of the House of Windsor are now being openly discussed. The possibility that a private trust could hint at matters linked to royal succession has added fresh tension, turning a long, quiet family matter into a closely watched and emotionally charged story. For now, much of this remains unconfirmed and wrapped in speculation, but the interest surrounding it continues to grow. The more people hear, the more questions arise about what is actually written inside the trust and what it could mean for the generations ahead. The discovery reflected Diana's personal wishes for the future of her family within the monarchy. But does this provision leave room for alteration by the king? Or was it strictly designed to protect Diana's interests within the monarchy? If so, what does this indicate about Diana's influence within the monarchy? Let's find out. The shadow of Diana's influence. For King Charles III, the situation is said to have carried deep emotion. Despite holding the highest position in the monarchy, he was reportedly faced with the idea that parts of Princess Diana's legacy may still exist beyond his full control. Reports suggest that the trust review reopened old emotions within the palace, reminding many officials that Diana's presence in royal history has never fully faded. Nearly 3 decades after her passing, her influence is still said to echo through public feeling and royal decision-making, in both visible and quiet ways. Some insiders claim that the renewed focus on her trust has once again brought attention to how Diana's image continues to shape discussions about the monarchy's future. Even in official silence, her name still carries emotional weight inside the institution, especially when matters of legacy and succession are mentioned. The situation reportedly highlights a deeper truth, that Diana's role in royal history is not limited to the past, but continues to influence present conversations within and outside the palace. For King Charles, this has reportedly created a moment of reflection as he navigates the balance between duty as monarch and the emotional weight of Diana's enduring legacy. While no official statements confirm any change or dispute yet, the ongoing discussion has continued to attract attention across media and royal watchers alike. Many believe the renewed interest in Diana's trust is less about money and more about meaning, memory, and the direction of the monarchy itself. In quiet discussions, some royal observers say it serves as a reminder that her influence continues to shape narratives long after her death, often in unexpected ways. Whether seen as a coincidence or a deliberate structure, the trust review has once again placed Diana at the center of royal conversation, showing how deeply her legacy remains tied to the future of the House of Windsor. As the situation continues to unfold, many are left wondering how this renewed attention to Diana's trust will ultimately affect the royal family moving forward, especially in terms of unity and legacy decisions. What remains unclear is whether this is simply a legal review or something that could quietly reshape how Diana's legacy is understood for generations ahead. The world waits for answers and clarity from the palace soon. King Charles is devastated that he does not have control over Diana's wishes, which may indicate that Diana's influence is still very much at play within the monarchy. But who was informed about this development? Could the trustees of Diana's fund have purposely waited until this moment to share the news? And can he protect Diana's wishes? Let's uncover the intriguing details. The possible family preference. One of the most surprising claims coming from royal whispers is that Prince William allegedly became aware of the trust review before several senior palace officials were informed, a detail that immediately sparked curiosity and quiet concern within royal circles. According to these reports, the timing of the communication raised many questions about how information was being shared inside the royal system. Reports suggest Prince William was contacted through Kensington Palace channels before several of King Charles's senior advisors were informed, an unusual order that has reportedly caused weeks of tension and speculation inside the royal household. Many now wonder whether Diana's trust was designed in a way that gives special protection to William's branch of the family above others, raising quiet questions about influence, priority, and the true intentions behind its structure itself overall. Many observers have wondered whether this situation was carefully planned or simply the result of a misunderstanding and complex legal procedures surrounding royal trusts. In matters tied to inheritance, succession, and family legacy, even a small change in how information is shared can appear highly significant and spark wide speculation. Some insiders believe that the order in which details were communicated may not have carried any hidden meaning at all, but instead reflected normal internal processes within the royal household. At the same time, supporters of Prince William argue that his early awareness was likely due to his role in the family, rather than any attempt to influence decisions or shape outcomes behind the scenes. Questions continue to grow around the timing of the events, drawing attention from both media and royal watchers who are calling for clearer answers on how such sensitive details were shared and who was prioritized in the communication chain. While nothing has been confirmed, the situation remains widely discussed and closely watched. As speculation spreads, some observers wonder whether Diana's trust may have been structured with deeper intentions, possibly influencing the future balance of power and influence within the House of Windsor. What began as a private legal review has quickly grown into a story the public can't ignore, showing how easily quiet discussions turn into global attention when Princess Diana's name is involved. Now, many are watching closely, hoping for clearer answers about the trust review and what it could mean for the future of royal succession and the balance within the royal family. Prince William got to know about the trust review before several senior palace officials. But what message is Diana passing to her son through the trustees' revelation? Could she have been fearful for the future of her children? If so, what plans did she make to make their lives easier? Let's find out. Princess Diana's hidden foresight. Royal commentators have long suggested that Princess Diana may have carried deep concerns about the future of the monarchy and the quiet power struggles that could unfold within it. After her divorce from King Charles, reports say she became even more focused on one thing above all else: protecting the future of her two sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. According to these interpretations, Diana's thinking may have gone beyond simple inheritance or wealth. Instead, some believe she carefully considered how future royal tensions, shifting alliances inside the palace, and possible family disagreements could affect her children as they grew older. Her actions, as understood through estate discussions, are often seen as an effort to create long-term protection for her sons, especially William and his future line. Some insiders claim that parts of her estate planning may reflect a desire to shield William's branch of the family from potential instability within royal structures. This includes worries about changing loyalties, internal rivalries, and disputes that can sometimes emerge within powerful institutions like the monarchy. Whether these intentions were clearly written or simply understood through careful legal planning remains uncertain. However, many royal watchers believe that Diana's trust, and the way it was structured, reflects more than just financial planning. Instead, they see it as the actions of a mother who was thinking far beyond her own lifetime, trying to secure stability and protection for her children in a world she knew could be unpredictable. Some believe Diana showed both emotional insight and careful planning in her decisions, thinking ahead about the pressures, conflicts, and intense public attention her sons would face within royal life. From this view, she may have tried to protect them from future struggles as much as possible. However, others remain cautious, arguing that much of this interpretation is based on speculation rather than confirmed facts, leaving room for debate about her true intentions. Still, the idea persists that Diana's trust was not just about money or property, but about legacy, protection, and long-term family security. It continues to fuel discussions about how she may have viewed the future of the monarchy and the place her children would hold within it. And even today, many are left wondering how much of that vision still quietly shapes royal life behind the scenes, long after her passing. It is believed that Diana's decision may have been driven by deep concern over future power struggles within the monarchy. But could her plan be carried out by her children alone? Or would her grandchildren also play a role in ensuring continuity? Now let's dive into the emotional heritage, a new generation of royal continuity. As conversations around inheritance, direct heirs, and long-term family protection began to resurface, public attention gradually turned toward Prince William's children. According to various reports and interpretations, the trust is believed by some observers to place a particular focus on safeguarding the future of William's direct descendants. Over time, this idea has grown into a wider belief that each of William's children may represent a living continuation of Princess Diana's legacy, keeping her memory alive through their presence, influence, and the emotional connection they inspire within the public. In these accounts, Prince George is often seen as a figure of continuity, symbolizing the future stability of the monarchy. Princess Charlotte is frequently associated with Diana's well-known warmth, charm, and ability to connect with the public. Prince Louis, meanwhile, is sometimes described as carrying the lightness and spontaneous energy that people once admired in Diana. The three children are increasingly seen as a living reflection of Diana's legacy, each carrying a unique spark of her warmth, spirit, and influence that keeps her memory quietly alive in the modern royal story. The narrative continues to grow because it connects emotion, memory, and the enduring public fascination with Princess Diana's life and legacy. As a result, her presence is often felt in discussions about the royal family's future direction, especially when it involves her grandchildren. In this way, the conversation about her trust and legacy remains alive, evolving with each new claim and reflection that emerges over time. In many media conversations, Diana's grandchildren are often seen as living symbols of her lasting legacy. This idea has quietly shaped public opinion, making people view the younger members of the royal family not just as heirs but as emotional links to Diana's memory, story, and enduring influence. Diana's story still shapes how people see the royal family today, reaching far beyond history. It speaks to identity, duty, and the heavy emotional pressure of living under constant public attention. Her legacy continues to influence how responsibility and personal struggles are understood within the royal spotlight even now. Ultimately, the discussion remains open-ended, leaving many to wonder how much of Diana's imagined intentions continue to shape perceptions of the monarchy's future today and in the years yet to come. Beyond considering William's children, whose father is the next heir to the throne in Diana's plan for the monarchy, who did Diana trust to oversee and carry out her wishes under the structure of her trust fund? What was their relationship to her, and were they truly worthy of that trust? Now, let's uncover the executors behind Diana's trust fund structure. Inside Princess Diana's Trust. One detail often brought up when people discuss Princess Diana's trust is who was actually chosen to manage it. According to widely reported accounts, the responsibility did not fall to royal institutions or palace officials. Instead, it was placed in the hands of Diana's own family. The executors and trustees were her mother, Frances Ruth Shand Kidd, and her sister, Lady Sarah McCorquodale. This point stands out because it separates the trust from the direct control of the royal household. King Charles, senior palace advisors, and other official royal bodies were not placed in charge of overseeing it. Instead, it remained within Diana's personal family circle, far away from the structures that typically manage royal affairs and finances. For many royal observers, this distinction is seen as highly meaningful. It suggests that Diana may have wanted her private wishes to be handled by people she deeply trusted and knew personally, rather than by the institution she had once been part of through marriage. In their view, this structure may have been designed to ensure that decisions about her estate stayed closer to her own values and family judgment. Because of this arrangement, some commentators believe the trust was able to maintain a level of independence from royal influence over time. They argue that keeping control within her family may have helped preserve the original intentions behind her financial plans, even as the years passed and the monarchy itself underwent many changes. At the same time, others point out that this setup could simply reflect standard estate planning practices, where trusted relatives are often chosen as executors. However, in Diana's case, the decision naturally carries greater public interest because of her unique position within the royal family and the ongoing fascination with her legacy. Still, the fact remains that her mother and sister were the ones entrusted with this responsibility, which continues to shape how the trust is understood today. For many people, it adds another layer to the story of Diana's life and legacy, reinforcing the idea that she may have wanted her closest family to remain at the center of her personal affairs, even long after her passing. As a result, discussions about her trust often return to this key detail, since it helps explain why the arrangement is seen by some as both deeply personal and carefully protected within her own family line rather than the royal institution itself. Diana reportedly chose her mother and her sister to oversee the execution of her wishes without direct influence from King Charles. But would this decision be widely accepted within royal circles, or could it instead spark tension inside the monarchy? If so, what challenges might it pose for those within the palace? Let's uncover the details. Growing tensions between palace factions. What began as a quiet legal review of Princess Diana's trust reportedly turned into growing tension inside the royal household. According to insiders, the situation slowly became more sensitive as talks about Diana's legacy and Prince William's family moved to the center of attention, quietly stirring concern, questions, and unease within palace circles. Some sources claim that supporters of Queen Camilla felt increasingly left out of the conversations, as attention appeared to shift more toward Diana's side of the royal story. While nothing official has confirmed these claims, the growing focus reportedly changed the mood behind palace doors. What was once a technical review about legal arrangements slowly turned into a much broader and more emotional topic. As the talks continued, palace communication reportedly became tighter and more controlled, with fewer details shared openly. More private meetings were said to take place in an effort to prevent leaks or confusion. Yet this growing secrecy only deepened curiosity, as those watching royal events closely began to wonder what was really happening behind closed doors. Inside palace corridors, whispers spread quickly as people tried to make sense of the situation. Some believed it was simply a careful legal process being handled with caution due to its sensitivity. Others, however, felt it carried a deeper meaning, pointing to questions about power, legacy, and how the monarchy may be shaped in the years ahead. Over time, the review began to feel less like a simple financial or legal matter and more like a quiet struggle over perception and meaning. It was no longer just about documents or trust structures. Instead, it became tied to how different parts of the royal family are viewed by the public, and who is seen as carrying forward the most important legacy. This shift has made the situation more sensitive than expected, especially as public attention on Princess Diana's legacy remains strong. Even the smallest updates now spark wide debate, with people closely watching every detail and trying to read deeper meaning into events connected to her lasting influence. In the end, what began as a routine review reportedly evolved into something far more complex, a situation shaped by influence, symbolism, and ongoing questions about who truly represents the future direction of the monarchy. The review of Diana's trust intensified tensions within the royal institution. But what could this review, often linked to Prince William, ultimately lead to? Could it push the institution to place even more focus on him and his family? Now let's explore how Princess Diana's enduring legacy quietly redefines the emotional future of the monarchy. Beyond money and documents. At its core, this entire controversy is said to be about much more than money. According to royal insiders and long-running discussions within royal commentary, the real issue is deeper and more emotional. It is about legacy, loyalty, memory, and the question of how the monarchy sees itself moving forward in a changing world. Rather than focusing only on financial details, the trust has become a symbol in a much bigger conversation. It has reportedly pushed the royal institution to face a difficult and uncomfortable truth: that public attention and emotional connection are increasingly centered on Prince William and his children. For many observers, this shift is not sudden, but something that has been growing over time as new generations take on more visible roles within the royal family. The discussion itself has taken on a life of its own. It has moved beyond legal documents and entered the space of public perception, where meaning often becomes just as powerful as fact. In this space, Princess Diana's name continues to hold extraordinary influence. Many royal watchers argue that this situation reflects something larger about how the monarchy is viewed today. It is no longer just about tradition or formal roles. It is also about emotional connection, public trust, and the personal stories that shape how people see the royal family. In that sense, Diana's legacy still plays a major role in shaping opinions and conversations, even decades after her death. Some insiders suggest that the renewed focus on the trust has reminded the royal household of how strongly the public still connects with Diana's memory. That connection, they say, naturally extends to her sons and now to her grandchildren, who are often seen as the living continuation of her story. Whether or not the specific claims about the trust are fully accurate, the broader impact is clear. The discussion has highlighted how deeply Diana's influence remains woven into the identity of the House of Windsor. It is not just a matter of history, but something that continues to shape present-day perceptions and future expectations. In many ways, the controversy has become less about legal structures and more about symbolism. It reflects questions about who carries the emotional weight of the monarchy and how that weight is passed from one generation to the next. Ultimately, what this situation reveals is a simple but powerful idea. Princess Diana's presence has never truly disappeared from the royal story. Instead, it continues to echo through public imagination, shaping how people understand the monarchy's past, its present, and possibly even its future direction in the years still to come. So what do you think about Diana's trust fund? Could it solidify Prince William's position within the monarchy? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.